What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Living by the F Word. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's do this. Let's talk about Departure Festival being canceled. Womp womp. I don't really even have like an outline for this one. I'm kind of just going to wing it. But it has been exactly 1 week since the official cancellation of Departure Festival, which was going to be a new 5-day destination festival in Playa Del Carmen, Mexico. And it was highly anticipated because this was the first festival, especially for house music and techno music lovers, since the BPM Festival almost 5 or 6 years ago. So I feel like this was one of those festivals that for a lot of people that were attending Departure was complete nostalgia. Just absolutely, let's go back to where we had some of the best memories that we ever created at the BPM Festival. Let's go back to this amazing party city that is really accessible, fun to get around. You have Fifth Avenue, which is just full of life, restaurants, so much to do. So many bars, so many clubs. It's just a party city, and it's really a great place to have a destination event like Departure and like BPM. So, where do we begin? Where do we start? I think I'm just going to kind of talk about my timeline of what happened as far as getting down there and when things started to fall apart and what we think about it. I flew down on Wednesday the 5th. And it was really rough actually getting there because I'm from New Jersey, and it was a really bad ice storm. When I woke up at, 5 o'clock, or whenever I left at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning, there was ice all over the ground. There was ice all over my car. And I didn't think much of it because I'm a flight attendant and I drive to the airport all the time. And usually like around that time, there's nothing too crazy going on. It's early enough where there'd be no traffic. Boy, was I wrong. There were so many accidents. It was actually very scary. I had to take back roads in order to get to my employee lot. And there was someone that spun out right in front of me. So there was just so much like stress building up to getting to my flight. And then the first flight that I was supposed to be on was canceled because we were short crew members. So they actually had asked, like, do you want to work the flight? And I was like, if it's going to get me to this festival, I do. But we still would have been short someone. So it really didn't matter. I ended up having to take the flight that was after that hours later, and I had to jump seat, which I feel like is something I've been having to do quite frequently to get to festivals lately. And I'm so grateful for it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a privilege I have that most people don't. So at least I still got there, right? At least I still got there. But I feel like by the time I actually got down to Mexico, cleared customs, got to Playa del Carmen, it was pretty late and I was pretty exhausted. So I went out to dinner with my two friends. We went out to a really, really fancy, nice dinner. It was probably way over my budget, but it was still worth it. We had a great time. We caught up, and then I was like, well, I'm going to bed because I want to be rested for tomorrow, which was the first day of the festival. So Thursday the 6th comes around. This is supposed to be the first day of the festival, and I decided to stay in all day to edit my video of the Departure lineup, venues, and set times. And I wanted to kind of just discuss the location with people. I wanted to talk about the promoters and just kind of talk about things that I didn't have the chance to talk about because I had been so busy working. So I quickly had filmed that before I left, and then I wanted to edit that video. So I pretty much spent majority of my afternoon doing stuff for work and also trying to get footage off of my phone so I would have room on my phone to vlog Departure Festival, and then I edited that video. And I think it was around 2:30 or 3 o'clock that I got the first message that it was going to be postponed. Everything was going to be postponed for 3 hours. And in my head, I was like, works for me because I'm not done editing this video, and now I'll have time to get this video out and it'll hopefully be able to help people, yada, yada. Well, finally got that video up, and right when I got that video up at 7, which is when everything should have been pretty much kicking off at that point, we got a message, and I'm going to read it to you. We emailed you an important update about your departure itinerary today. Please check your inbox and contact us via live chat or on the app, or reply to this SMS for support. That first email was this. Due to the recent rise in Omicron cases, we've had to implement new safety measures across all venues in line with their new COVID protocols, and it has been impossible to complete all of those checks with the relevant authorities in order to open our doors today. We have had reassurance that we will be going ahead tomorrow, and we will send an updated itinerary and information. As an apology for the disappointment of all those that have traveled in today for the opening parties, we will be offering partial refunds for those that attended today and the day of the entertainment missed. A 3-hour open bar at a venue to be confirmed tomorrow, which I never received, by the way, and a 200 credit towards a future travel experience. We are heartbroken to not be delivering our experience that we have spent so long planning today, and the safety of our dance community and staff has to be our priority. And in order to keep bringing experiences to the dance community in this time, we have to cooperate with local governments, which I do agree with. We look forward to welcoming you to the party tomorrow for the biggest 4 days of house and techno music in the incredible Playa del Carmen sunshine. Please contact us via live chat or on the app, or reply to our SMS for support. So that was the first update. I wasn't too worried because if you watched my other video, you know that I've been attending City Fox parties for a very long time, and they are always kind of struggling with local authorities. They struggled with New York time and time again, with venues, with liquor permits, with so many things with opening the Brooklyn Mirage. So this wasn't really too big of a shocker for me. You know, when you go to a first year event, you are taking a risk most of the time. It's very rare that there are pretty much zero flaws when you go to a first year run event. I mean, there are first year run events that are pretty much flawless, but for the most part, they have to work all their kicks out, and it's very, very difficult, especially if it's in a foreign destination. So I wasn't too shocked about this, but the next day, we woke up, and around noon, we found out about the full cancellation, which honestly, like, I was never expecting a full-blown cancellation. That was just absolutely shocking to me. I really just, I couldn't believe it. And with this cancellation, there was also a cancellation for Dead & Company up in Cancun. So it kind of really did seem like it was because of the pandemic and because of cases rising and things like that. But as the week progressed, it was clear that that probably was not so much the case, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But we basically woke up to a new email, which I'm going to pull up, and I'm sure many people have already heard this before, but if you haven't, I'm going to read it again. It says, important announcement. It is with an incredibly heavy heart that on the weekend of our show, after 10 days of building and months of planning, we have been instructed that we cannot operate departure. We have been liaising with the local authorities, and with the recent severe rise in the cases of Omicron in the past few days, the governor announced last night that the state of Quintana Roo is returning to yellow tier COVID restrictions, and therefore it has been deemed unsafe to continue with the capacities, scales, and shows we had planned. With over 4 stages, 70 artists, 175 hours of programming, and thousands of guests, it is simply impossible to operate with midnight curfews and capacity restrictions. You will be automatically refunded and offered a 200 credit to the future experience. Whilst we are beyond heartbroken to not be delivering the incredible experience we have built, the safety of our dance community and staff has to be our priority. The loss of millions of dollars is nothing in comparison to the knowledge of the disappointment of our loyal dance community who have traveled globally to attend this experience and have already seen the incredible stages being built. It's a horrible feeling to let you all down, to see the months and months of work that had been put into this experience go to waste, and for the local community and our partners whose businesses will be seriously impacted by the news. We know so many of you have traveled so far to be here. It breaks our hearts that we can't put out our incredible experience that we had planned, but we will be dancing together soon. For those that are already here, we sincerely hope that you can continue to enjoy the incredible location. From the sunsets and sunrises to the seas and the sand, we have sent a variety of local recommendations of sights to see and excursions to execute together. Incredible memories will still be made, which is true. We still made the most of it. But we did go out and there were no curfews as far as venues ending at midnight. Playa was still popping until way early in the morning. And also, as far as we know, many of these yellow tier that the governor put in place did not go into effect until Monday. So why the festival couldn't have at least continued until Sunday, we don't really know. It is incredibly disappointing. Obviously, when situations like this happen, you know damn well that the promoters don't want this to happen. They are losing out on so much money, so much effort and work and sleepless nights that they have put, into their event. So you know that they don't purposely want to do it, but yes, it is incredibly disappointing. This was such a massive global event. I mean, I barely traveled far compared to some of the people I met. I met people from Chile. I met people from Egypt. I met people that traveled over a full day to get to Playa del Carmen for Departure Festival. So it's incredibly heartbreaking for so many people that traveled so far to have it canceled the day that it was supposed to begin. I just don't really understand how calls like this can be made so last minute. And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, since other festivals like Zamna and Day Zero were still happening all the way up and through Monday morning, or Tuesday morning even, because Day Zero I attended from Monday into Tuesday morning, I'm just not really understanding, and I think a lot of people are not understanding why this truly was canceled. We all think in the back of our minds we know why, because when you have a festival in Mexico, it's a business and there's certain people you need to pay off. And we do think that those people were not paid off. That's what it truly comes down to. It seems very silly that these stages would be built and all of a sudden everything is just canceled for a surge in cases when things were still open, things were still happening all throughout the weekend because we went to different clubs, we went to different beach clubs. Like we said, we made the best of it, right? So I don't really know if there's full truth in why it was truly canceled. However, we now just had the cancellation of the BPM Festival in Costa Rica too. So I feel like this pandemic is becoming much of a security blanket as far as, a way to get out of things. I don't know if, it was fully the responsibility of that. There were other shows canceled as well, like Dead and Company. They were canceled as well. They had a full-blown resort festival that was supposed to be happening the whole weekend in Cancun that they also canceled. So it's really hard to tell at this point what the true reasoning is. I hope that they come back. Truthfully, I hope they come back because I think for so many of us, we just couldn't wait to have another festival in Playa del Carmen. It's just kind of the best place to have a festival because it's easy to get around and there's, venues on the beach and it's just so nice. I will say this, it's super upsetting to me every time something goes wrong with a festival, how cruel people can be online, especially towards the promoters. I think that you honestly sound like a complete ass calling this a Fyre festival situation. This was far from that. In fact, most events that I've gone to that were far from that people, anytime something goes wrong, people just are so easy to say, oh, it's a Fyre festival. Okay, we were all in beautiful hotels, beautiful, gorgeous hotels. Most of the people are going to get fully refunded. The people that were in the all-inclusive partner hotels are getting fully refunded for hotel and festival ticket. That's so much better than someone like me who paid their hotel separate and wasn't in an all-inclusive. Like, I'm never getting that money back. You know what I mean? So these people are really well off, like in a good way, getting refunded. And when we get that refund, we will see. It could be up to 3 months, I'm pretty sure. So we will see if we actually get the refund and the $200 credit that they promised. But I just think that people are very cruel when it comes to things not going in their favor. And, for reasons, it's expensive to buy flights, it's expensive to purchase a hotel, and it's expensive to buy food and drinks and all that. And for me personally, I love having that combo experience. That's why I always love to travel to a festival so I could kill two birds with one stone, because I did spend a lot of money this week. And there was no festival involved. I mean, there was. I went to day zero, but that's not the festival I wanted to go to. So it's just so hard to talk about this. I just wanted to talk about it though. I do want to thank any of the local artists that stepped it up and that were playing at some of the events we went to, including Santino's. There was some really great melodic techno up on the roof that we went to. Some things were super overcrowded, and it was just a little disappointing because then we had nowhere to go, but we did make the best of it. Did see some beautiful cenotes as well. Did finally make it down to Tulum. So if you're interested in learning about any of that, I will be talking about all that in another video as well. If you are interested in festivals or flying, food, fashion, fitness, any words that I talk about, go ahead and consider subscribing. My name is Jess, and that's what I talk about here on Living by the F Word. Thank you guys for checking this video out. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you in the next video.